Hello and welcome to our channel, Think, Explore, and Learn, where we dive into some of the most captivating books that you need to add to your reading list. Today, we'll be talking about Steve Jobs, written by Walter Isaacson. This book is a must-read for anyone interested in the life of one of the most influential tech icons of our time. You'll discover the man behind the iconic Apple logo and the impact he had on the world of technology. We hope this summary gives you a taste of what this book has to offer. Have you ever wondered how Apple's Steve Jobs became a worldwide technology icon? If so, this book is definitely for you. It's almost impossible to overstate the role that Steve Jobs played in the creation of our contemporary, computer-mediated world. In this best-selling biography, you'll discover how Jobs' perfectionism and intensity pushed him to achieve great things, but also caused friction and conflict in his relationships with employees and collaborators. Jobs' behavior was often seen as bratish, but he would argue that he was simply trying to push people to deliver their best. So what can you expect to learn from this book? First, you'll learn about the fascinating life of Steve Jobs, from his humble beginnings to his rise as one of the most influential tech icons of our time. You'll learn about his teenage prank that cemented a partnership that would eventually create one of the most valuable technology companies in the world. Next, you'll discover how Jobs' experimentation with LSD and meditation led to the creation of today's tech gadgets. It's amazing to think that the technology we use every day may have roots in psychedelic experiences. You'll also learn about Jobs' role in the creation of Pixar and how Woody or Buzz Lightyear wouldn't exist without him. Jobs was able to bring together a team of creative minds and turn them into an animation powerhouse. Lastly, the book touches on the tragic end to Jobs' life. You'll learn about his belief that he could cure his cancer with acupuncture and eating fruit, a belief that ultimately led to his untimely death. In addition to his adoption story, Jobs' love for engineering and design was instilled in him by his handyman father, and his love for pranks and exploration was developed through his friendship with Steve Wozniak. From an early age, Jobs' father, Paul, tried to pass along his love of mechanics to Steve. He recalls being impressed by his father's focus on craftsmanship, as Paul would build anything the family needed, including cabinets, and let Steve help him in the process. Additionally, the family's modern home sparked Steve's interest in clean, elegant design. Later in high school, Steve met Steve Wozniak, who was already a talented computer technician. The two immediately clicked and shared a love for pranks and exploration in the world of electronics. In 1971, they combined both interests to launch their first product, the Blue Box, a device that allowed users to make long-distance phone calls for free. Wozniak supplied the design while Jobs turned the innovation into a business, taking $40 worth of parts and selling the device for $150. The pair sold almost 100 boxes, giving them a taste of what they could do with Wozniak's engineering skills and Jobs' vision. It's amazing to see how the seeds of their success were planted in their early years. In addition to his engineering and design interests, Jobs' focus and aesthetic sense were also shaped by his interest in spirituality, LSD, and the arts. In the late 1960s, the overlap between the counterculture and geek culture led Jobs to immerse himself in the world of LSD and Eastern spirituality. He even traveled to India to explore Zen Buddhism and meditation. Through his drug experiences, Jobs reinforced his sense of what was important in life and realized that creating great things was more important than anything else. He developed a kind of focus that became known as his reality distortion field, where he could bend reality to his will. His enthusiasm for the arts was also a key influence on his minimalist aesthetic approach. During his college years, Jobs took a calligraphy class, which later became a key element in the Apple Mac's graphical user interface. It's fascinating to see how Jobs' diverse interests and experiences all contributed to his unique perspective and approach to design and innovation. It's amazing to see how Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak's diverse interests and experiences all led up to the founding of Apple Computer. In the early 1970s, while Jobs was immersed in spirituality and LSD, he was also dreaming of starting his own business. Meanwhile, Wozniak had an idea for the modern personal computer, imagining a device that was self-contained with a keyboard, screen, and computer all in one. In 1976, with just $1,300 of startup capital, Wozniak and Jobs founded Apple Computer. On the day they had to come up with a company name, Jobs had visited an Apple farm and decided that Apple was a simple, fun, and familiar name. The two toiled away for a month building 100 computers by hand and were able to sell half of them to a local computer dealer and the other half to friends and other customers. After just 30 days, Apple's first computer, the Apple I, was on the verge of being profitable. It's amazing to see how a counterculture vision, hard work, and a simple trip to an Apple farm all contributed to the birth of one of the most valuable technology companies in the world. As we've seen, Steve Jobs was a visionary who pushed his employees to achieve great things. However, Jobs was also a controlling and temperamental boss, driven by an uncompromising passion for perfection. He would verbally assault people and throw temper tantrums if their work didn't meet his high standards. Jobs wanted the Apple II to be a perfectly designed, fully featured computer that was integrated end to end, but his drive for perfection drained the energy and will of those in the company. As Apple grew, Jobs only became more erratic, and Mike Scott was appointed as Apple's president with the task of keeping a tighter rein on Jobs. Scott had to confront Jobs with the thornier issues that other employees didn't have the energy to do, and this often resulted in disagreement, with Jobs breaking down in tears as he found relinquishing any control over Apple extremely difficult. Jobs was frustrated that Scott tried to put limits on his perfectionism, but for Scott, the focus was on getting the product manufactured and sold. Despite Jobs' erratic behavior, his drive and perfectionism helped make Apple the successful company it is today. The Macintosh was Jobs' next big project, and it would transform personal computing and establish him as a technology icon. The Macintosh was not solely Jobs' invention, as he actually stole the Macintosh project away from its founder, Jeff Raskin, an expert on human-computer interfaces. Despite this, the Macintosh became an unparalleled success, thanks to a lavish marketing campaign and a sensational TV commercial directed by Ridley Scott. Jobs' strategy of manipulating journalists to secure high-profile interviews worked, and the Macintosh made him wealthy and famous. However, Jobs' perfectionism and oppressive behavior towards Apple employees continued, and he would constantly call people out for being assholes if he thought they didn't care about perfection. His behavior eventually led to a showdown with the company in 1985 when the Apple board of directors decided to let him go. Although the Macintosh put Jobs on a pedestal as a tech icon, his vitriol got him knocked off, and he had to leave the company he founded. In the previous sections of this video, we explored the life of Steve Jobs and his journey to becoming a tech icon, his obsession with perfectionism and design, and his rise to fame with the Macintosh computer. In this section, we'll cover the next chapter in Jobs' career. After Jobs was fired from Apple, he founded Next, a new business venture aimed at the educational market. However, Jobs' uncompromising perfectionism led to the project's failure. While Next almost ran out of money, Jobs also bought a majority share in Pixar, a company that was making cutting-edge, potentially lucrative animated films. With Pixar, Jobs shifted his focus from software and hardware products to animated films. After releasing Tin Toy, which won the 1988 Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film, Pixar partnered with Disney to produce its first feature film, Toy Story. Released in 1996, Toy Story became the top-grossing movie of the year, cementing Jobs' position as a force in the entertainment industry. So, while Jobs flopped with Next, he struck gold with Pixar, a company at the cutting edge of animated films. During his time away from Apple, Jobs not only honed his professional skills, but also experienced personal growth. After the death of his adoptive mother, he started to search for his biological family and eventually found his biological mother, Joanne Schiebel, and his sister, Mona Simpson. He also met Laureen Powell, who he would later marry and have 3 children with. With Powell's encouragement, Jobs tried to mend his relationship with his first daughter, Lisa Brennan. Although they had a strained relationship, Jobs attempted to be a more proactive father to Lisa. In his personal life, Jobs had the same binary approach as in his work life. He was either extremely passionate or extremely cold. Apple had even developed a personal computer named Lisa, which was released in January of 1983. Decades later, Jobs would tell the author of this book, "Obviously, it was named for my daughter." After Jobs was fired from Apple, the company started to decline. Gil Amelio was then appointed as CEO in 1996, but he failed to get Apple back on track. To halt the decline, Amelio acquired Next Software in 1997, making Jobs an advisor to Apple. Jobs began to build his power base, and the board eventually offered him the CEO position, but Jobs declined and remained as an advisor. He used his position to increase his influence within Apple and established a partnership with rival Microsoft, which ended a decade of legal battles and made Apple's stock price soar. Eventually, Jobs became CEO and saved the company by demanding that it refocus on making fewer products. In 1997, Apple recorded a loss of $1.04 billion. But in 1998, after Jobs' first full year as CEO, the company recorded a profit of $309 million. Jobs' return to Apple in 1997, after it acquired Next, marked the beginning of a new chapter. With his return, Apple underwent a dramatic turnaround, and he brought with him a new vision for the company. Jobs and John Ives' partnership began with the iMac, a desktop computer designed for everyday consumers that challenged the conventional idea of what a computer should look like. Its blue translucent case reflected their obsession with making the computer perfect inside and out, giving it a playful appearance. Launched in 1998, the iMac became Apple's fastest-selling computer. Jobs then worried that Apple's unique products could be lost in a technology megastore, so he created the Apple Store to control the entire retail process. Jobs built a prototype store, obsessing over every detail, insisting on a sense of minimalism throughout the experience. The first Apple Store opened in 2001 and was a massive success, pushing retailing and brand image to a new level. Jobs' digital hub strategy aimed at having the personal computer as the control center for multiple devices, led to the creation of the iPod, iPhone, and iPad. Jobs envisioned a portable music player as the first step, and the iPod was released in 2001. The click wheel, small screen, and hard disk technology made the iPod a success, accounting for half of Apple's revenues by 2007. The next step was the iPhone, released in 2007, which featured the touchscreen and Gorilla Glass cover. Profits from iPhone sales accounted for more than half of the total profits generated in the global cell phone market by the end of 2010. Finally, the iPad was launched in 2010 and sold over 1 million units in its first month. With the release of these three devices, Jobs' digital hub strategy transformed the consumer technology industry. Despite his incredible success in the tech industry, Jobs was unable to overcome one of his biggest challenges, cancer. In 2003, he was diagnosed with cancer but ignored conventional medical advice and tried to cure himself through unconventional methods like acupuncture and a vegan diet. After the cancerous tumor grew, he underwent invasive surgery to remove it. In 2008, the cancer returned and he tried to cure himself again through a strict diet, leading to significant weight loss. He eventually underwent a liver transplant, but his health continued to deteriorate, and he passed away in 2011. Jobs left behind a remarkable legacy, having built one of the most valuable tech companies in the world, and his personality was reflected in every Apple product he created. Despite the closed and integrated nature of Apple products, this strategy proved successful, as it created a seamless, elegant user experience that ultimately helped Apple surpass Microsoft as the most valuable tech company in the world. Jobs was able to witness this achievement shortly before his death. The main point of this book is that Steve Jobs, who came of age in the midst of Silicon Valley culture, blended his interests in art and technology to create a company that transformed the world. His ability to design technology with simplicity and ease of use in mind led to the development of a range of digital products that reshaped our relationship with technology. Undoubtedly, the global community would like to express its profound gratitude to the late Steve Jobs for revolutionizing the way we interact with technology and for shaping the world we live in today. His incredible vision, passion, and creativity have left an indelible mark on society, and his contributions will continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you for watching our summary of the book, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. We hope you enjoyed learning more about this visionary entrepreneur and the impact he had on the world. If you found this video informative and interesting, please don't forget to comment, like, and share it with others who might be interested. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and check out our other videos. Thank you again for watching.